Hey there, guys. So today we have another review, and what we have here is Victory Storm King. This is sort of a classic Imperial Stout from Victory for Pennsylvania. It's a beer that I haven't had actually a long time, probably I'd say it actually a full year. Last time I had this beer was when I did a blind taste test of a bunch of Imperial Stouts, including this, Founders Imperial, Brooklyn Black Chocolate, what else was there? Old Rasputin, Sierra Nevada Narwhal, and 1050. So that was a fun taste test that I did. I sort of have a review. I'll post on the bottom of a similar kind of review where I did Stone Rush Imperial, 1050, and Founders Imperial. That was very fun. But this beer actually turned out to be pretty good in that blind taste test that I did last year. I believe this was second or third place, so pretty interesting. Founders, by the way, was the clear winner. So yeah, all three of us we were easily, we could easily tell in that blind taste test that the Founders one was the best, and then it turned out to be the Founders one. But we're not talking about Founders. We're talking about Victory Storm King. This is a very classic beer. Actually, it's really interesting if you look up Beer Advocate before, I guess, this recent craft beer evolution. It's been, that's been occurring in the last 3 to 4 years. If you look back about maybe 5+ years ago, Victory Storm King was very high on that list. Maybe, 5 to 10 years ago, this was one of the top beers on Beer Advocate, and this is really high on there. So it's really interesting to sort of see and review a beer, sort of taste an old recipe and see how it stands up to today's standards. So let's dig in. So the beer pours out an awesome, nice color, beautiful kind of, actually a light brown head on that. Not really that kind of like dark, rich mocha kind of head. A light tan kind of head, I'd say, yeah. Let's get the aroma on this. I wonder if there's a bottle date, because it does smell hoppy, and that is their goal with this beer. Whoa, that is hard to read, is it? I think it's been rubbed off. Yeah, I don't think there's a bottle date. Sorry if I don't have a bottle date. But anyway, this is known for being a pretty hoppy Imperial Stout, and it definitely has that in the aroma. It's not as like rich and roasty and chocolatey and luscious and dense and fudgy as some other Imperial Stouts. It's more kind of bright, a little kind of light, kind of woodiness. Again, hoppy. Cheers. Follows with that note on the flavor. Get a kind of smack of woody hops up front. It's a flavor that I have a hard time kind of pinning down. It is hoppy, after all, but it's sort of hard to pin down what exactly that flavor is. Yeah, it's like slightly barky, not as, it's like towards the flavor of woodiness, herbal flavors, bark, maybe a little bit of like earthy roots, so something like that, but a little lighter than that, not as dense and chewy and cloying and astringent as some herbal or woody flavors and barky kind of flavors can be. It's a sort of light kind of hoppy note that you get in not only this beer, but also other Imperial Stouts. It almost reminds me as if this was wood aged, that kind of woodiness. So not like a bourbon kind of alcohol kind of has been not that kind of flavor has been imparted in the beer. Almost like a woody kind of, if you gave this to me, I might even think it's like a wood aged kind of beer because it has that kind of flavor. But it's the hops that are giving that flavor. In general, a light kind of cocoa, kind of chocolate flavor, a lot of kind of coffee bitterness throughout. On the back end, it is almost like biting espresso beans, that kind of bitterness throughout. Quite nice. It's a fun take on the style. I generally prefer these big, like luscious kind of beers, but this beer offers this nice kind of balance. The hops up front, a little bit of that kind of chocolate flavor in the middle, a bitterness on the back end, and a longing kind of mocha, almost like a bitter espresso mocha on the back end. It has a little bit of play of the chocolate, but it's really quite bitter of that kind of espresso coffee bitterness on the back end. As for mouthfeel, I'd say it's around medium. It's actually a little bit light for 9.1%. Yeah, for 9.1%, a little bit light, but it's pretty good. On Beer Advocate, this gets a 91. I think it's around there. I think it's actually a little bit better. I prefer it over a beer like Sierra Nevada Narwhal or Old Rasputin. Let's go with 92. pretty good stuff. Glad to see this beer still kind of, still stands up to the awesome beers that are out there now. If maybe I can post the link on below if you guys actually want to see what the Beer Advocate list used to look like. It's like sort of a time machine, sort of really weird what the highly rated beers were back then. So until next time, guys, cheers. Later. This is Victory's Storm King Imperial Stout. Later.